Hello, everybody. How are we doing? I'm hoping we're quite well. Welcome to the stream. This stream is going to be a quick little deep dive into what is likely to happen with the Boro match tonight, which I think could be a very, very interesting game of football, basically. The main attracting factor for me in this match is the fact that so much of it rests on the fact that so many players that are involved have so much to prove, which I think is really big and underrated, and not many people are going to be sort of paying attention to that. And I think narratives play more of a role in football than we're often willing to admit. Sorry, I've just got to sort out my tags and stuff because this is day number five. I want to say 5. Of the doing a stream every single day malarkey. But I've been snowed under with work stuff today, which made it very, very difficult to do a stream. But here we are. We're doing one anyway, because you might as well, because I've promised that I would, and Leeds haven't lost yet this season. So that's good. So we're going to talk about the Leeds versus Boro match. You guys are going to have your say, basically guiding the conversation, letting me know what you're thinking, and we'll just have a little bit of a chat based on that. We'll do a little bit of score prediction-y stuff, because I think that could be very, very important. And let's be honest, the score is, at the end of the day, the most important thing when it comes to a game of cup football. What we're expecting for the lineup, sort of a little bit of a discussion on Aronson and Vuba and Ayling. Those are the players that have the point to prove. That's why I'm sort of diving into that. A little bit of a Boro breakdown, how they played in the first match of the season, what we can sort of expect them to do and why we expect them to do it. And then we'll hop over to Questions Corner to close. Now, a little bit of a warning. As much as I find streaming delicious, good fun, Chinese food is also delicious. And the timer on this stream is the fact that about 15 minutes ago I ordered a succulent Chinese meal to come to the house. It's a place that normally takes about an hour, 45 minutes to show up. Once that food arrives, I will be calling the stream there because I've had a very stressful day. That's why I'm not going to be doing a watch along later on. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, that's the general gist, the general vibe. But let's get into it. Leeds versus Boro. Let's see what's going on. Basically, a lot of what I've seen so far today is sort of general optimism, and I've got absolutely no problem with that because I love a little bit of optimism. But 90% of the time, you do not get that from Leeds fans. And I don't know if it's me seeing the wrong corner of the internet in comparison to you guys, if that's me seeing just something weird and different. But I want to know what you guys are thinking. Are we feeling confident? Because I had a quick look at the poll, and 72% of people think that we're going to win straight out, and 78% of people think that we're going to go through in some way, shape, or form. With 17% thinking a Boro win, 6% thinking a Boro win on pens. That's weirdly confident. That's more confident than I ever expect Leeds fans to be, because we don't do confidence. We do unconfidence. Also, hello everybody. We've got a 3-0 prediction from the Orange Raider, who thinks Aronson hat-trick. 2-1 from Matt Leeds. Hello, Nikki. How are you doing? Hopefully very well. Dave Dids thinks it's 2-1 or 3-1. I'm guessing that's in our direction. A wonderful ooh from one of our mods. Afternoon, Ricky. Go 5-3-2. I'm not convinced, but we'll talk on that in a little bit. Leeds been fallen from an Ipswich fan. All the best for the season ahead. Thank you very much, George. And you haven't decided what it'll be so far. Well, that's what we're having this conversation about, isn't it, really? Because if we don't have this little bit of a chat, we don't have this working out what we're expecting from the day, then we're not going to find out. So, had a quick look at what happened in the first match of the season. In the same way that on paper we completely spanked Portsmouth, Boro roughly did the same to Swansea. Boro got 2.8 XG for, 0.5 against, which is slightly worse in terms of creating opportunities for them, slightly better in terms of conceding fewer opportunities. Captained by Luke Ayling, they ended up winning 1-0 against Swansea City, which is not too bad. It's roughly what you'd expect. They played in apparently a 4-1-3-2 formation, which I'm going to have a look at the match report just to sort of verify that. And it does look like that was the case, which saw Howson come on as a sub, didn't play the full game. Ayling was at right back, as you'd expect, because that's what he does best. And ultimately, it was a sort of standard match. The only goal that they scored was through a penalty, which is sort of telling that they needed that to create opportunities. In addition to that, they conceded a hell of a lot of possession. 38% of the ball compared to 62% for Swansea. I don't know if that's more telling that Swansea weren't able to put stuff together, or Boro were sort of waiting and deciding to hit on the counter-attack. In terms of passing accuracy, 74% for Boro. So they didn't get that much of the ball in terms of safety and stuff. To me, it looks quite a lot like Swansea were just sort of poor and didn't do anything to convert anything in the slightest, which is tough, very confusing. Are you doing a watch long? I am not today because the general work day was an absolute nightmare, rather stressful, and I have instead decided to relax, watch the match as I would like to watch the match without a camera on me, just because it's a little bit more chill that way. Instead, I'm going to do this as day number 5 of the streaming every day until Leeds lose this season. I need to put daily stream 5 on the end, just to sort of emphasize that, you know. Ailing will score versus normally, that's how it goes. Absolutely, that's normally how it goes. Am I ready for 6? I do not know, because work stuff will continue going into the evening. I will explain that to you off stream because there's a lot of technical bits that I'm not able to discuss. But if you are around at 6 o'clock, I am going to find the specific link and throw you in that right direction. One of our moderators, Baby Zebra Games, does a little bit of streaming over on Twitch. It is at that link. If you click on that, give her a follow. It's worth watching. It's good stuff. Hopefully Leeds versus Ipswich in the second round. I'm not hoping for Ipswich. I'm hoping for one of those games that is a complete walk in the park. And whilst I think we'd have a decent shot against Ipswich, we beat them twice last season, I don't really want to have a stressy sort of game. I thought you were asking me. I mean, might have been, but I was more sort of you know what, let's use this as an opportunity to do some networking and stuff. The last day, Joe. It might be the last day. There's a little bit of me that hopes it is, because on Saturday, I'm travelling down to the south for work, because this is something I'll explain to people off stream, that eventually got sorted out with expenses and bits. And Sunday, I'm basically in a studio all day, which means that I'm not able to actually stream stuff myself. Is the connection being absolutely broken? Or is it just on my end? Because that does not look like that is being very pleasant. It's showing us 1 bar out of 5, which I'm going to take a wild guess and say is probably not good enough for me, because I would like it to do better than that. But outside of that, more on the Boro breakdown. Basically, as far as I can tell, it looks like they are a side that was roughly sort of struggling to gain control of the match at the weekend, no matter how that sort of eventually turned out. Shit, the Chinese is here. I guess I'm going to have to end this relatively quickly. Basically, Brendan Aronson will have a big point to prove in this match, because he needs to sort of stamp his authority on a place in the starting 11, and he scored once, but he should have scored twice, which is a bit of a problem. Max Vuber will want to prove himself to the crowd, because he needs to sort of evidence his claims that he is a good enough player for Leeds and is loyal. This is the match where he can prove it, and Ailing wants to prove a point to Daniel Farker that he is good enough to play for Leeds. In terms of lineup, we can see Ilan Meslier in net, I imagine, at right back. We will probably still get Jayden Bogle. No, in fact, Sam Byram at right back, with DeBayo and Vuba as centre-backs. I still sort of see Firpo at left-back. In central midfield, I expect to see Rothwell and Crew, just to give a little bit of balance. With in front of that, you could go Aronson up the middle. Ooh, no, we won't actually. We'll go Aronson on the left, Piru down the middle, and we'll say Ruter on the right with Bamford up top, is my predictions for the lineup. We're going very quick now. As I said, Chinese food is delicious. I will not be able to stick around for very long. Sorry about that. I might do a little bit more of a stream later on. I'm not entirely sure. I wouldn't expect Darlow to play because he's not very good. Anyway, that was me functionally wrapping the end of this stream. So I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, become a channel member, all that stuff if you like. I'm sorry the stream wasn't as long as I expected. The food arrived roughly half an hour earlier than we thought, which is fantastic. But either way, hope you enjoyed. I will see you later. Ta-ra. Now I've got more work stuff to do. Oh, good. Whew.